examination of organizational leadership as conducted in conjunction with a working corporation. All names or references to the subject corporation in the study have been changed to protect the identity of the corporation and participants. However, the facts, nature of the evidence, and outcomes presented are taken from those collected during the course of Mr. Huff's work with the subject corporation. Mr. Huff performed this study and related research while at Pepperdine University during the completion of work associated with his Doctorate of Education in Organizational Leadership. This study parallels Mr. Huff's work experience and civilian and military education as related to a wide range of GO and NGO program initiatives and accomplishments. These activities involve leading change, transition to emerging trends, identification of needs and resource requirements, design, methods, and approach. Additionally, activities include research, strategy development, planning, solution integration, branding implications, implementation, return on investment, and performance assessments. As such, Mr. Huff offers this presentation as an effort to continue a dialogue with a wide array of interdisciplinary global technical experts, academic, and industry leaders. Mr. Huff's research in connection with his activities while studying at Pepperdine University, in association with Kirk Marshall Clayton and CRC, represent unique global leadership, qualifications, and experiences presented in a series of audio and video presentations. These cover Mr. Huff's collaborative research, interdisciplinary work, and experience acting in various leadership and consulting roles, leading change, transforming a construction services company to a learning organization. A comprehensive examination presented to the faculty of the Graduate School of Education and Psychology, Pepperdine University, Los Angeles, California. The author of this paper is Patrick D. Huff. It is in partial fulfillment of the requirements pertaining to the completion of a Doctor of Education in Organizational Leadership. November 2013. Mr. Huff wishes to thank the faculty and staff of the Graduate School of Education and Psychology for sharing their knowledge, experience, and contributions that enabled the completion of this work. Of particular note are the composition, theory, framework, and editing advice provided by Dr. June Schmeider Ramirez, Dr. Farzan Majidi, Dr. Kathleen Plinsky, Dr. Jack McManus, and by Dr. Andrew Harvey. A recitation of the separately published manuscript follows to include an overview of the document's contents and page references. Introduction. Biography. Approach to study methodology, presentation, abstract. Chapter 3, Change Plan Initiative, Design and Development Towards Leading Change. Page 26, Applying Theory. Guiding and Influencing Change, page 26, Mapping a Strategy, Goals, and Objectives, page 26, Stage 1. Establishing a Sense of Urgency, page 27, A Series of Team Retreats and Consensus Building, page 28, Stage 2. Creating a Guiding Coalition, page 28, Stage 3. Developing a Vision and Strategy, page 29, Aligning Vision and Strategy with Needs by Design, page 30. Stage 4. Communicating the Change Vision, page 31, Stage 5. Empowering Employees for Broad-Based Action, page 32, Stage 6. Generating Short-Term Wins, page 33, Stage 7. Consolidating Gains and Producing More Change, page 33, Stage 8. Anchoring New Approaches in the Culture, page 34. Abstract. This paper introduces a plan to increase Master Builders Incorporated, MBI, knowledge, customer base, and sales by integrating an adult learning program where success will be measured by increasing the number of employees that achieve Project Management Professional, PMP, certifications. This knowledge is considered critical when avoiding the common trap of attempting to do too many projects with limited resources, training, and ill-informed leadership, Versa, 2012. Which in turn prevents achieving a sustainable market advantage. The Small Business Administration classifies MBI, located in Los Angeles, California, as a small business, construction services company. Since 2008, MBI has experienced performance problems that have resulted in flattened sales due to its leadership style and the absence of a learning culture as discovered in recent LPI 360 surveys and environmental assessments. This plan responds to MBI's Chief Executive Officer's (CEO) need by implementing leadership and development programs necessary to drive culture change within MBI as it positions itself for an initial public offering (IPO), viewed as critical to its survival within the next 2 years. My role in the effort is to act as the Change Management Officer (CMO), responsible for leading the plan's development and implementation. The plan is framed by a SPELIT and SWOT needs assessment and shaped by applying Kotter's 8-stage change model. The learning program utilizes Daryl Sink's ADDIE and ISD models to analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate results. To ensure effectiveness, Knoll's theory of andragogy, Senge's learning principles, and Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation are utilized as grounded theories to create and measure reaction, learning, behavior change, and results. The plan uses a phased gate approach to measure incremental achievements, short-term wins, toward optimizing MBI as a learning organization for its IPO as directed by offering advisors. Why can't I get the people in my organization to simply do their jobs? How to identify the problems. Setting a course for improved performance. Chapter 3, CPI, Design and Development Towards Leading Change. Page 26. Applying Theory, Guiding and Influencing Change. Having completed the establishment of 1. My role. 2. An understanding of MBI's organization and behavior. 3. Identification of the CEO's need. 4. The completion of 3 needs assessments. 5. The identification of the core problem. And 6. An analysis of the collected information. I have progressed through 6 of the 10 phased gates to implementing my CPI. Now, the design and development phase of my plan requires that I identify and ensure the transfer of knowledge to MBI's employees to create a behavioral change. By applying Kotter's model, my approach will develop and guide the emotional will and passion of MBI to accept change. Then by applying the ADDIE model, Sink, 2008, with attention to Senge, Knoll's, Kaplan and Norton's, and Kirkpatrick's theories as guiding principles, I can assure the creation of an effective adult learning program for MBI. Mapping a strategy, goals and objectives. Kaplan, Norton, and Kirkpatrick argue mapping a learning program strategy, goals, and objectives collected from needs assessments is essential prior to engaging in design and development. Based on analysis, my plan focuses on a 4-point strategy to achieve MBI's goal by ensuring measured improvements in 1. Financial, 2. Customer relations, 3. Business processes, and 4. Learning. My strategy map identifies the following goals. 1. Achieve a 100% acceptance of the business processes from the IPO underwriters. 2. Increase annual sales from $25 to $75 million. 3. Increase the number of customers from 11 to 33. 4. Increase the average project award from $2.5 to $7.5 million. 5. Increase employee satisfaction and empowerment by 50%. And 6. Ensuring employees complete all 18 courses in leadership and project management. See Table 1, Chapter 4, Implementation Plan, pages 36. Page 27. Stage 1. Establishing a sense of urgency. As the CMO, it is impossible to overstate the challenge of establishing a clear sense of urgency with MBI employees. It is critical that Kotter's model be aptly applied as a shift of mind framework together with my plan's phased gate approach to assure MBI's employees are moved to accept the need to change. This can be accomplished by MBI's employees understanding that gaining knowledge of financial, customer relations, business processes, and learning will energize and serve them to sustain a culture of change. Kotter, 2012, pages 8 to 9. By designing and developing a leadership and learning program that addresses Knoll's adult learning principles, I believe my plan will successfully transfer learning to behavior to motivate and empower MBI to overcome its internal resistant forces. My plan accomplishes this by aligning theory and best practices with well-defined multi-step processes that can be applied to remove or minimize complacency. Kotter, 2012, pages 42 to 45. McManus, 2013. During my analysis, I discovered the company displays a moderate level of complacency due to the CEO's lack of intensity in signaling the significance of the IPO goal. Absent expressing the critical nature of the IPO, the employees appear to be focused on the symptoms or core problems that prevent MBI from accomplishing its goal. In short, the CEO focused MBI's employees on improving leadership style, discipline to organizational structure hierarchy, and project management performance as a strategy for its IPO positioning. As a result, the CEO failed to raise a sense of urgency by not communicating the financial and customer relations crisis related to being undercapitalized and knowledge-equipped to take advantage of an IPO at the front end of an emerging economic recovery. Absent the IPO, MBI would be forced to accept losses in customers and sales that compromised its future. After completing the needs assessment, I gained an understanding of the nature of MBI's business and its employee culture. Page 28. I use this knowledge to convey to MBI employees a high-level visibility, awareness of how critical the achievement of the IPO was to MBI and, more importantly, to them personally. I accomplished this by presenting a clear and compelling argument to MBI's employees to overcome complacency. The employees were informed that absent achieving the IPO, MBI was likely to lose market share and sales volume. If continued, this would lead to employee reductions and elimination of benefits soon. A series of team retreats and consensus building. To deliver my message, I chose to present a compelling case to MBI with the assistance of my CPI consultants in the context of a series of company retreats. My intent was to kick off my plan at an off-site location that would assign significance to the gathering, provide focus, and create a relaxed atmosphere conducive to an open and transparent two-way discussion of my plan. At the retreat, I informed the employees of the current problem and my plan to correct and improve performance by establishing a leadership and learning program to achieve the IPO goal. My CPI consultancy team aided the employees in understanding MBI's needs, related problems, and facilitated clarifying employee questions to place my program on the path to success. When my CPI team's retreat was finished, we had stirred a unified interest among MBI's employees to learn how they could become part of my program's solution. Realizing the success of this first retreat, I chose to integrate a series of retreats to kick off each phased gate of my plan. Stage 2, Creating a Guiding Coalition. Creating major transformation is often associated with highly visible leaders coming forward. Kotter, 2012. P53. So why didn't the CEO communicate the significance of the IPO in the first place? The answer was simple. He was reluctant to expose his employees to MBI's weaknesses for fear of him being viewed as not being a strong and capable leader with all the answers. This aside, in order to accomplish the IPO, the CEO feared it would require him to give up a degree of management control and the power he enjoyed. Page 29. Towards the close of the first retreat, my consultants and I identified employee groups by leading open and honest discussions that led them to a new appreciation of a need to change. Together, the consultants and I approached each employee to discuss their interests and participation in my CPI as an affinity group or change coalition leader. We knew the creation of collaborative teams were critical to my plan's success in executing a complex change strategy. Kotter, 2012. How large should the guiding coalition be? Kotter argues, a majority of employees, perhaps 75%, to include top executives need to believe a change is absolutely essential. Kotter, 2010, pages 51 to 52. The consultants and I agreed. The employees we selected as guiding coalition team leaders were critical to obtaining MBI's commitment to its IPO. At the conclusion of the retreat, it was clear a new urgency and passion to explore change was present where it had been missing before. Further, our new guiding coalitions possess the position power, expertise, credibility, and leadership needed to influence outlying stakeholders. Kotter, 2010, pages 59 to 61. Majidi, 2011, Tobin, 2013. We encouraged our CPI coalition leaders to grow their power by building mutual trust and practicing ethical behavior as the plan was implemented. Kotter, 2010, pages 68. McManus, 2013. My CPI team viewed those we selected as having the sufficient experience, knowledge, and expertise to provide insight and guidance in the design and development of my adult learning program curriculum and relevancy by selecting need-to-know coursework, methods, and modality of instruction best fit for MBI. See Figure 3, P30. Stage 3, Developing a Vision and Strategy. Why is it important to create and share my plan's vision and strategy for a new MBI? First, it provides an appealing picture of the future and a notional path for getting there. Second, my vision and strategy are essential to building a foundation strong enough to justify and energize the implementation of my plan and the achievement of MBI's IPO goal. Page 30. Kotter argues the characteristics of an effective vision involve being imaginable, desirable, feasible, focused, flexible, and communicable. Kotter, 2010, pages 74, McManus, 2013. Upon completing an open and honest discussion with employees of the CEO's new IPO vision for MBI, my change strategy and learning performance objectives began to take shape. It was time for my consultants and me to create a vision and strategy specific to my introduction of a leadership, organizational behavior, and project management adult learning program that included a system of evaluating the outcome. Since MBI did not have any learning program history, developing one was in some ways made easier absent the problems or barriers that may have been present. On the other hand, due to the CEO's oversight in previously creating a learning program, my consultants and me needed to create a compelling program vision and strategy that effectively energized our guiding coalitions to assist in creating a design and development plan that tackled MBI's core problems. This meant the learning program vision and strategy needed to be sufficiently ambitious in setting phased gate milestones that challenged our coalition leaders and employees. Page 31. Aligning vision and strategy with needs by design. The strategy my CPI team developed in coordination with our coalition leaders was based on integrating relevant off-the-shelf professionally certified, web-based programs with face-to-face peer and professional instruction to optimize need-to-know learning that addressed MBI knowledge shortfalls while providing employees with knowledge viewed as a personal gain or benefit. Stage 4. Communicating the change vision. Key elements of effectively communicating a change vision, Kotter argues, is to ensure it is delivered with simplicity, language and concepts, applies metaphors and examples, is delivered in multiple forums, informal meetings or retreats, is repetitious, provides leadership by example, explains inconsistencies, and provides an open two-way feedback loop of give and take. Keeping these in mind, my CPI team utilized a four-phased orientation strategy that was designed to communicate the plan and its adult learning program in the simplest way possible without talking down to the executive staff or employees. My CPI team found the most influential drivers to implement Kotter's elements of communication were through conducting meetings in a variety of interesting off-site locations. In fact, we found meetings where the most open feedback, projection, listening, discovery, and inconsistency resolution took place was in retreats held off-site from MBI's facility. By holding meetings at different venues, employees were more relaxed, open, honest, and less distracted by their MBI tasks and requirements. By providing new and interesting retreat or meeting locations, employees were excited and energized to attend and actively participate in the change design and development process. In the end, the communication strategy connected my CPI coalition stakeholders with other MBI employees and provided my team with a conduit that guided our creation of a curriculum design and coursework compelling enough to attract 100% employee participation. Page 32. Stage 5. Empowering employees for broad-based action. MBI's organizational structure is representative of a hierarchy with high levels of management controls. After reviewing similar organizations in the construction services industry, it's apparent MBI's structure is consistent with those designed to deal with a high degree of regulatory controls, codes and compliances. Upon completion of my team's analysis of MBI's needs assessment, it was evident neither the CEO, executive officers, nor his managers were knowledgeable of the adverse implications of not aptly utilizing their organization to optimize MBI's strengths. The needs assessment analysis indicated the CEO frequently led by example, circumventing MBI's hierarchy, chain of command, as he pleased to exercise his command and control management style of leadership over his subordinates. His leadership style served as an example to his executive officers, managers, and employees. This cemented a culture within MBI of employees being reluctant to make timely decisions, take risk, or express innovative solutions to project management problems in light of becoming the target of a high degree of what the CEO terms highly constructive criticism, conducted in the presence of other employees. For this reason, and due to the fact that MBI had no learning program office or personnel in its present structure, my CPI team deemed it essential to undertake modifications to MBI's structure to empower change as led by the Change Management Officer, CMO. MBI's structure modifications indicated as new and referenced in Figure 9, Appendix F, pages 63. The modifications shown empower the CMO to execute the CPI and provides for position changes necessary to introduce the expertise and skills needed to override any senior or mid-level leaders that aim to discourage or disrupt the plan. By distributing CPI guiding coalition leaders through MBI's levels of authority, I deliver more responsibility across multiple levels of power. This increases their responsibility and power as advocates of CPI's success. The modifications also provide increased alignment of the new CPI positions to take advantage of MBI's existing robust technologies. Page 33. Finally, placement of the new positions closes the gap in levels of authority and communications by increasing access to all employees desirous of embracing change. Fortunately, my CPI team did not encounter any troublesome or potentially disruptive leaders to prevent MBI achieving its change goal. Stage 6. Generating short-term wins. A system of short-term wins is critical to my plan's success. These are needed to support and reinforce my CPI coalitions and affinity groups as they progress through the stages of MBI's transformation. The short-term win design serves to confirm the coalition's efforts are making a difference within MBI. I have combined Purington and Butler's phased gate approach with Kotter's theory as an approach to adapting my CPI to the ADI-ISD process in order to assure my plan's success. As such, several milestone reviews and rewards are integrated into my program from start to finish. Each phased gate review of the process is designed to be visible and unambiguous, encouraging an open and transparent reassessment of progress at each milestone or gated point. Upon the completion of each phased gate, group meetings by coalition members and my CPI consulting team will discuss the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats that were encountered in the completed phase. Once this information is reviewed, a reassessment of the entire CPI design and development is addressed in a constructive two-way feedback session. Ultimately, the purpose of the short win system is not only to reward and reinforce progress, but also to improve previous milestone gate performance by reshaping, modifying, and improving both the previous and the future milestone gates. Kotter's research infers short-term wins are highly significant to influencing transformation success. In fact, Kotter argues that by increasing the number of planned short-term wins directly improves transformation success. Stage 7. Consolidating gains and producing more change. As Kotter puts it, resistance to change is always waiting to reassert itself. Fortunately, during my conductance of MBI's needs assessment, no significantly empowered employees surfaced as agents in opposition. In fact, My CPI consultants confirmed MBI was open and ready to accept my transformation. Page 34. This was due to the clarity provided in the CPI retreat that represented significant and positive desired outcomes would result if my plan was successfully achieved. Although MBI's organization is a hierarchy that exhibits a high degree of control, my CPI consultancy team agrees that its organization resembles one of moderate interdependent systems as defined by Kotter. As with most well-designed systems, it is critical to be able to identify successes and failures during operation. The same is true of my CPI. Kotter suggests indicators of my plan's success will be evident when my guiding coalitions use their credibility to tackle additional and bigger change, grow coalition membership, and empower leadership across all levels of authority within MBI begin to add to clarity and urgency to successfully achieve my CPI and MBI's goals. These indicators are critical evidence in view of ultimate successes in anchoring and sustaining my change within MBI over a long road ahead. Kotter, 2010, pages 150. Stage 8. Anchoring new approaches in the culture. Kotter argues anchoring change in a culture comes last, depends on results, requires a lot of talk, may involve turnover, and makes decisions on succession crucial. Similarly, my CPI's successes will be determined by the degree it influences future decisions that are compatible with my plan that result in a series of alterations in norms and shared values, the degree and significance of positive results, increases in my CPI's guiding coalition strengths, and performance increases of MBI's employees that aptly position it to achieve the desired IPO as measured by my plan's balanced scorecard model. We trust the information provided so far was beneficial, and wish to thank you for your interests in this portion of the presentation. Individual agency or corporate representative support is available on request by directly contacting Mr. Huff through his LinkedIn account, under the Contact Information tab on the homepage. Questions or additional information pertaining to the presentation and supporting materials are available on request. References supporting Mr. Huff's work are summarized at the end of this presentation. Again, we wish to thank you for your interest in this presentation, and would appreciate your observations and comments. We wish to thank the faculty and staff at Pepperdine University, those government and non-government organizations, artists, and subject matter experts that participated in supporting the research, and for making this study and presentation possible. This presentation and content have been produced solely for educational purposes and use and is believed to be allowed under Title 17 U.S.C., Section 107, of the United States Copyright Law. The presentation explores 2 years of research designed to provide clarity, definition, and knowledge gained from a bound longitudinal study in organizational behavior. Specifically, the presentation's focus is on presenting the observations gained by applying global leadership theory, design, implementing transformational change, and the evaluation of an organization as it moves to becoming one built to learn. This publication and the associated manuscript are protected under copyright law by Patrick D. Huff, Global Performance Strategies Incorporated, and the Clayton Research Consultancy, and has been produced strictly for educational use, published January 2014. Since 2001, Mr. Huff has continued to expand his interests and research into Asian and Middle Eastern social, political, economic, legal, intercultural, technologies, and infrastructure. Mr. Huff invites you to view his team's upcoming publications, and again, trusts you found this presentation of interest and value. Thank you. This concludes the presentation of this chapter. The Clayton Research Consultancy, a public service corporation. Leaders in education, research, global innovation, and change.